Welcome to The Deep Dive. This is the show where we take your sources, pull out the really important bits, and serve them up so you can get informed fast. Today, we're diving into the world of web development. Specifically, we're looking at ArcBlock's Pages Kit. So if you build websites, or maybe you're just curious about the tools making the web work, you're definitely in the right place.
Yeah, and our mission today really is to unpack the 3 latest updates to Pages Kit. We're going to look at how these changes are making website building, well, more efficient, more flexible, and definitely more reliable. We'll dig into what that actually means for you, whether you're using it now or thinking about it, and we'll be focusing quite a bit on the very, very latest one. It's a biggie.
Okay, sounds good. We've got some really interesting stuff here, especially, like you said, this newest update. It seems to have some features that could genuinely change how you approach building a site. So get ready for maybe a couple of those aha moments, because we're tailoring this to help you see what's truly important beyond just the release notes, All right, let's get into it then. ArcBlock just rolled out their latest Pages Kit update. That's what they're calling it. And looking at it, it seems like, well, more than just a few small tweaks. What's really at the heart of these new changes? What makes them stand out?
Well, what's really interesting here is how this update tackles 2 big things at once: design flexibility and raw performance. It's bringing in features that genuinely empower you, the user, to design more complex, more efficient web pages, and crucially, without needing to be a coding expert. We're basically talking about giving designers and content folks tools that, maybe used to need a dedicated developer.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a powerful mix right from the start. More design power, but keeping things fast.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. What's new on the layout side of things that's making such a difference?
Okay, the really big one here is the new section layout support. So now you can organize page sections using these, well, intuitive layout blocks. Think about it like this. Instead of fighting with complex CSS or trying to figure out responsive code, you can visually build things like multi-column layouts, fancy hero sections, even dashboards. It's not just drag and drop. It's making complex design easier for everyone. So you can focus more on the creative side, less on the code headaches. It just offers incredible flexibility in how you structure your pages. Opens up possibilities for some really unique, professional-looking designs.
Right, so it's not just putting stuff on a page. It's actually shaping the structure visually without getting lost in code. How does that connect with templates you might already have?
Exactly. And that leads right into the next point, the updated template tab. This has been improved so that when you're editing a page template, you can now directly select and drop in these new layout sections. It just simplifies the whole design process, makes it way more intuitive for you to build and change your page templates. It really streamlines the workflow, from just an idea to the finished page. Imagine how much time you save snapping together a complex page from these preset but still customizable layouts.
That sounds like a huge improvement for just, well, getting things done efficiently.
Yeah.
And what about those moments, we've all had them, where you try something out, make a change, and immediately think, oops, maybe not? Is there a safety net?
Oh, absolutely. And this is so important for user experience, undo-redo functionality. You now have undo and redo specifically for routes. Those are the unique web addresses for your pages, and for data sources where your dynamic stuff, like products or blog posts, lives. So you can experiment with changes much more confidently. It simplifies refining your content because you don't have that fear of making a mistake you can't easily fix. It's about giving you freedom to try things out, to iterate, without constantly worrying about messing things up. Honestly, this feature alone is a huge relief.
Yeah, I can see that. That peace of mind is huge for anyone building anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so beyond the design and workflow, what about the performance? The actual speed of the websites built with Pages Kit. Are there improvements there?
Yes, definitely. On the technical side, 2 big performance boosts. First, an improved HTML compression mechanism. And this isn't just a tiny tweak, it really speeds things up. It cuts down page load times significantly. That translates directly to websites that feel faster, more responsive for your visitors. And faster load times mean, well, people stick around longer, it helps with SEO, potentially more conversions. Every millisecond counts online, right?
Absolutely. Faster loading is always critical for users, for Google, for everything. What was the second performance boost in this update?
There's also enhanced cache management. It's smarter now about updating content dynamically based on user interactions. So the system kind of balances the need for speed with making sure the content is always fresh and up to date. It means your visitors get the latest stuff without slowing things down, which is really important for sites where content changes a lot, like news sites or online outdoors.
Okay, so empowering designers, making sites super fast. Sounds like a lot packed into one update. Is ArcBlock kind of resting here, or did they mention what's next?
No, they're definitely looking ahead. They mentioned that future Pages Kit updates will likely focus on adding AI tools, think content creation help, things like that, and also further performance improvements. Plus, they made a point of saying they're actively listening to community feedback to shape what comes next, which is always good to hear, right? It means the tool should keep evolving based on what users actually need. Imagine AI helping draft content. That's pretty interesting.
Wow, AI for content creation. That's definitely something to watch.
Ooh.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Moving to another significant Pages Kit update that came out recently. This one seemed focused more on user experience and workflow. What should listeners know about those changes, the ones that impact the day-to-day work?
Yeah, this update was really about making the experience of using Pages Kit better, more comfortable, more efficient, reducing friction, making the environment nicer to work in, and giving you a bit more peace of mind while you build. Often it's these kinds of quality of life improvements that really add up in terms of productivity.
Totally agree. Comfort matters when you're deep in a project. So what's the first thing that jumps out from this update for user comfort?
Well, a big one for many people, dark mode support. You can now switch the whole Pages Kit interface to a dark theme. Less eye strain, especially if you're working late or in lower light. Plus, some people just prefer that modern look, right? It's about giving you options, letting you set up your workspace how you like it. Makes it less tiring over long sessions.
Dark mode is always a popular one. Good call. What about previewing your work? Any fixes for glitches or inconsistencies there?
Yes, that was addressed with draft mode fixes. So draft mode should now work much more reliably, especially, they noted, in Safari, which means fewer frustrating moments where your preview doesn't quite match the live site. If you've ever pulled your hair out over browser differences, you'll appreciate this. What you see in draft mode should now be a much more accurate reflection of what visitors will see. More consistency, less guesswork.
That's a practical fix that saves real time and headaches. What about people using custom components, extending Pages Kit themselves?
Ah, yes, good point. For anyone building or using custom components, there's improved custom component loading speed. They've put in a better loading mechanism with smarter caching, so those custom bits should load noticeably faster within the editor. Less waiting around means more building time. Just makes the whole process smoother if you're working with modular designs. Shaves off those little delays that can add up.
Okay, and finally, something you touched on earlier with the undo peace of mind. Something that prevents maybe bigger disasters.
Haha, yes. Autosave for data sources. This one works quietly in the background, but it's huge. Your inputs or data sources are now saved automatically as you go. This is just a massive game changer. It takes away that constant worry about losing work if your browser crashes or you accidentally close a tab. You can just focus on creating, designing, whatever, without that nagging voice telling you to hit save every 2 minutes. Every developer has lost work before. This helps prevent that nightmare.
Yeah, that autosave feature alone sounds worth the price of admission. Okay, so let's connect the dots. Moving to the third recent update we wanted to cover. This one seemed to really focus on core reliability, getting rendering right, and adding more practical customization. What can you tell us there?
Right, this update felt like it was really strengthening the foundations, offering more fine-grained control over design details while also making the whole platform smoother and more stable. It kind of brings up the question, how much does that attention to detail in the tool itself actually matter? For developer confidence, for the final product?
I'd argue it matters a lot. So what kind of fine-grained control are we talking about? What can users really tweak now?
Okay, so now you get truly customizable styles for pages. You can set specific custom values for maximum width, horizontal padding, and vertical padding for your page content area. This gives you a ton more design flexibility, lets you precisely control how your content looks on different screen sizes, which, directly improves the user experience for visitors by making sure things look good and are readable everywhere, from big desktops down to phones. Pixel-perfect control, basically, without needing CSS.
That's great for responsive design, making sure sites look polished on any device. What about for people using Markdown for content? That's pretty common.
Yep, there's an enhanced Markdown renderer. They upgraded the engine behind it to use new styles. The improvement here is that your Markdown content should now blend in visually much more seamlessly with the rest of your site's design and fonts. So you get visual consistency across everything, no more jarring look between your blog posts and the rest of the site. Makes it all look more professional, more integrated.
Consistency is definitely key for professional look. Okay, besides the new features, what about those smaller but still important bug fixes? Things that smooth out the daily use.
Yeah, a couple of key bug fixes were highlighted. One, they mentioned, came directly from community feedback, fixing how the logo looked in mobile view, making sure branding stays sharp on small screens. Sounds minor maybe, but a wonky logo looks bad. And they also fixed a bug where nested properties and custom components sometimes return empty values. That prevents weird, unexpected behavior that can be a pain to track down.
It's always good to see community feedback making a direct impact like that. Lastly, what about under the hood stuff? Core performance, reliability things?
So on the back end, some important error handling improvements. They upgraded the error handling and how 404 not found pages work. The idea is to give you clearer feedback when something does go wrong, helping you figure out problems faster. Less head-scratching, more fixing. And tied to that are regular dependency updates. They're keeping all the core libraries that PagesKit relies on up to date. Think of it like system updates for the platform itself. It's not flashy, but it means you automatically get the benefits of the latest security patches, performance tweaks, and stability fixes from the wider software world. Keeps the whole thing running strong.
Right. So it's not just about adding cool new features, but also really shoring up the foundation and giving users that fine-tuned control with confidence. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into these ArcBlock PagesKit updates, just think about the combined effect here. We're seeing much more design flexibility, real performance gains for the website you build, and just a smoother, more dependable experience for you as the builder. It really seems clear that PagesKit is evolving fast, trying to empower you to create better, faster sites more easily.
Yeah, and it brings up an interesting question for you, the listener, to think about. How do these kinds of ongoing, focused improvements in our tools like PagesKit actually shape what's possible online? What new kinds of websites, what new kinds of content become easier to create when the tools themselves get more powerful, more intuitive, and maybe remove some of those old technical roadblocks?
Definitely food for thought. We hope this deep dive gave you some valuable insights, a clearer picture of how PagesKit is getting better, and maybe some ideas for your own projects. We really do encourage you to check out these features if you haven't already. See how they feel for yourself. Until next time, keep building and keep learning.